You need people who challenge you, people who love you, people who support you, people who remind you of who you are when you forget. Hello and welcome back to the Mentium podcast. Today, we close out something very special, the Connected Self series. Over the past 4 episodes, we've gone on a journey inward. In episode 1, we explored clarity, understanding who you are and what truly matters. In episode 2, we talked about vulnerability and the courage to be seen. In episode 3, we dealt with presence, slowing down and grounding yourself in the moment. And in episode 4, we talked about purpose, the deeper meaning that gives direction to your growth. And now, in episode 5, we bring it all together because awareness without action doesn't transform you. Knowledge without integration doesn't stick, but connection without consistency also fades. This episode is all about integration, what it means to live a connected life every single day with yourself, your purpose, and your community. A connected life is not a perfect life. It is a life where you stay awake, aligned, and anchored. But before we dive in, let's center ourselves. Where you are, if it is safe to do so, take a deep breath and let it out slowly. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your chest rising and falling. Feel the presence of this moment, the stillness, the calm, the clarity that lives underneath the noise. Place your hands over your heart and notice the rhythm. It's steady, it's quiet, it's strong. Let this moment remind you that you are not disconnected. You are simply returning home to yourself. Take one more breath and let's begin. Clarity is the foundation of a connected life. Without clarity, you drift. Without clarity, you react instead of choosing. Without clarity, you live by people's expectations instead of your own truth. Clarity is the courage to define yourself before the world does. I once coached a young man, brilliant, driven, talented, but every few months he burned out. Why? Because he said yes to everything. He didn't want to disappoint anyone. He thought opportunities only came once, but through deep reflection together, he realized one thing. He was saying yes because he feared being forgotten. When he gained clarity about that fear, everything changed. He began choosing projects that aligned with his values. He slowed down. He became intentional. And for the first time in years, he felt peace. Another woman I know thought she needed a new career. She was almost ready to quit. She told me she felt stuck and unfulfilled. But when he examined her values, creativity, flexibility, human connection, we realized she was in the right industry, but just the wrong role. She didn't need a new career. She needed new responsibilities. Clarity saved her years of frustration. Now ask yourself, what do I deeply value? What drains me repeatedly? What energizes me without effort? What am I pretending not to know? Clarity creates direction. Direction creates purpose. And purpose creates connections. Now let's talk about vulnerability. You cannot live connected if you are hiding. You cannot be supported if no one knows you are struggling. You cannot build deep relationship if you wear a mask. Vulnerability is not weakness. Vulnerability is in fact the door to connection. A man once told me, Majama, people don't show up for me. But when we talked deeper, he admitted something important. I never tell anyone when I need support. He always wanted to look strong. He wanted to be the helper, not the one needing help. But strength without vulnerability becomes isolation. When he finally opened up to one trusted friend about his stress and fears, that friendship became the closest relationship he ever had experienced. Another client was a leader in her company. She feared being seen as unprepared or incompetent. So she always pretended to have all the answers. But when she started saying, I don't know, let's figure it out together, her team trusted her more, not less. Vulnerability builds credibility. It builds relationship. It builds connection. Now, reflect on the following questions and ask yourself, where am I hiding? Who do I trust enough to be real with? What could happen if I ask for help? Connection begins with honesty. Now let's move on to presence. Presence is the practice of slowing down enough to actually experience your life. In a world full of distractions, presence is a superpower. Presence is choosing depth over speed. Presence is choosing alignment over anxiety. Most of us, our parents, want to be closer to our children, but every time we are with them, we check email, we scroll, we multitasking. We are physically present, but emotionally absent. Now, I want to challenge you to give your children just 10 minutes a day of your undivided attention, and you will see pretty soon they won't fight for your attention anymore because you gave it to them even before they ask. Your presence will change your relationship with them. Now, here are a few everyday presence practices that you can do. A 2-minute breathing break before big decisions. Putting the phone away during meals. No multitasking during conversations. Notice your physical sensations and emotions. Saying, let me think about it instead of reacting. Presence deepens your connection with yourself and everyone around you. Moving on, let's talk about purpose. Purpose gives your connection direction. It's not just what you do, it's why you do it. Purpose does not need a stage. It does not need applause. Purpose does not need perfection. Purpose does not need perfection. A friend of mine mentors young boys in his neighborhood every weekend. He's not doing it for recognition. He's doing it because he knows what it feels to grow up without guidance. His purpose is expressed in small, consistent acts. That is meaning in motion. Now, I want you to think about the following questions. Who benefits because I'm alive? Where can I give today? What action aligns with my values? Purpose fuels connection. I always believe that you rise higher with others. A connected life is not lived alone. You need people who challenge you, people who love you, people who support you, people who remind you of who you are when you forget. Community is not optional. It is essential. And this is the reason why I created Mentium. People don't just need content. They need connection. They need spaces to be seen, heard, challenged, supported, and inspired. Growth is faster in community. Healing is safer in community. And accountability is stronger in community. We rise higher together. Ask yourself, who is in my circle? Are they aligned with where I am going? Who lifts me higher? Who challenges me to be better? Your relationship shapes your reality. In closing, how do you live a connected life? Well, you start with clarity. You choose vulnerability. You practice presence. You move with purpose. And you root yourself in community. A connected life is not perfect. It is intentional. It is honest. It is grounded. It is aligned. Take a deep breath and remind yourself you are already connected. You were simply remembering. Thank you for being here during this 5-part journey of the connected self. Until next time, stay connected, stay grounded, and stay whole. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. I am Majama, and this is Mentium. Peace.